here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
All right, guys, welcome back to Fantasy TE. Once again, my name is Nick MACIK. We've got DIEUJUSTE and Lonnie Cox. Welcome back, guys. If you are watching, or if you start watching, feel free to write in any questions, comments. We want to hear about your teams, what's going on. We're happy to give you guys advice on this upcoming week. So yeah, feel free to just write in. We can see what you're writing and we will respond. All right, week 4. First, let's start with fantasy. Congratulations to both of you, especially Lonnie, for getting the first win of the season. Feels good?
It feels good. I was in the gym earlier. I'm working on getting my arms ready to lift the trophy at the end of the year.
1-4.
My season's turned around. I'm thinking championship.
Okay. As long as you are strong enough to at least lift the lotto tickets for the last.
That's fine. I'll list the lotto tickets as long as I have to lift myself in that fucking interpretive dance. That's all I care about at this point.
Oh man. Yeah, you really put it to who did you beat this week?
Casey.
Casey, that's right. You stomped Casey, man. Todd, you got a nice win too against. Is yours over? Are both you guys over?
Mine is over.
I could lose, but most likely not.
Okay, so we'll talk about what we need at the end.
Yeah.
You're looking pretty good for a win. I'm probably going to put up the least number of points in the league this week. I had a real bad week, but that's okay because I started off 3-0 and I was, I got T. Higgins and Michael Thomas coming back in a couple weeks. So that's my glaring weakness right now is receiver. And I got those guys sitting on IR. So I feel pretty okay at 3-1 still. But yeah, good week in fantasy overall. How about let's start with the game last night. Did you guys watch Brady versus the Patriots?
Good game.
Good game. I got a little emotional. Honestly, like before, it was a little bit hard to watch. It was like I grew up watching Brady play for the Patriots. So, but it was fun, man. And the game itself. So let's talk. We can get it, whatever, all the emotional, all the drama and stuff like that. But the game itself, what do we take on the game itself? What do you guys think? About the Patriots, Mac Jones?
I think the Pats are closer to Tampa Bay than I think we realized because it seemed really mirrored, especially on that last drive. The only thing, 10 yards and the kicker couldn't complete, but they did almost identically on the last drive.
It was really close. Yeah. Lonnie, what do you think?
I think you saw Belichek coach his team against a guy that he's very, very, very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Like you saw probably Brady, like any head coach get in the head of Brady better than anyone you've probably ever seen. Because who knows better than, Belichick.
Sure.
And also who's a better coach. I'm going to be honest. I expected the Pats to win last night. I was thinking that they were going to pull it out. Yeah, I did, especially after like the first half when it was 7-3 or it was a low scoring game. I was like, that's exactly what the Patriots need to do to win this game.
Yeah.
They need to keep it low. Mac Jones looked good. The Patriots, again, they just don't ever and have never in the Belichick era had a solid running game, which I think hurt them. They have good receivers, though, good young receivers. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry played well.
Yeah.
Good game. It was a good game. I was surprised at the outcome, though. I thought the Pats were going to pull it off.
I did too. Right around the same time when it was like 7-6, I was like, this has the makings of a ripe upset. One of the things I heard some people talking about today, and that was radio or wherever, I don't know exactly where I heard or read it, but some people were saying, well, Mac Jones looked like the better quarterback last night. And yeah, I was like, his numbers were better, but the Bucs had to start Richard Sherman as one of their top 2 cornerbacks last night, who they just signed off the street. Their secondary is a mess. It's a disaster. They could probably take a number of college secondaries right now and have a better defensive backfield than they do currently. Like, they're just so bad. And then the Patriots have one of the best secondaries in the league right now. I think if you had swapped secondaries, that game's a blowout by the Bucs. So to say Mac Jones is, looked as good as Tom Brady looked pretty good against a really good secondary that was scheming very well against them. Mac Jones looked good. He looked like Tom Brady against the worst secondary one of the worst secondaries in the league. Your thoughts on that? You say that's an accurate, fair assessment?
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching a little bit of highlights today. I saw that Tom Brady missed a lot of throws. I think the most in like 7 years. What are you going to do? You have a bad game. Again, this is like Tom Brady is not going to play Bill Belichick every single week. Now, you said that the Bucs are the worst secondary in football. That's just due to injury, right? I mean, Antoine Winfield and those guys are going to come back.
Yes, right. No, they're going to get better. That's the other thing. The Bucs are going to be better than they are right now if they get healthy. Right. Also, Antonio Brown had I wouldn't call it a drop. He had one miss in the end zone where he just wasn't looking for the ball and it was perfectly placed. So That's a walk-off touchdown. That's the game over if they hit that. And then they went back to it a second time and Brown got his hands on it and didn't make the catch. It would have been a tough catch, but it's also Antonio Brown and he makes that catch a lot. So yeah, in the end it was closer than maybe it should have been. But there were definitely some opportunities. And yeah, Brady missed a couple throws for sure. So I don't think by the end of the season that game would look the same as it did last night.
Probably not.
But the Patriots are in good shape going forward. I think Mac Jones looks good. And actually a lot of rookie quarterbacks looked good yesterday. Did you guys catch any of the other rookie performances?
Yeah, I saw Trey Lance in the with the Seattle game. Russell Wilson was on point the whole game, but Trey Lance came back in the second half and he did pretty well, man.
He did. He looked all right. It was really the most action we've seen from him. Justin Fields got the start and the win yesterday. He still didn't look amazing, but he looked okay. He was probably the two that looked the most improved were Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, though. Trevor Lawrence on Thursday night against the Bengals. Did you guys catch that game?
No, because I can't. I don't have any way of watching Thursday night games anymore. I don't have NFL Network.
We got to get you back on board somehow with that. I feel like maybe the app on your phone might be the way to go, but
maybe.
Yeah, you should look into that. But anyway, Trevor Lawrence looked solid on Thursday night. He looked like he was starting to turn the corner. He looked like everybody kind of expected him to look finally. They lost, but it was a close game. But he was making good reads. He was making really nice throws. And then Zach Wilson looked good with the Jets also finally beating the Titans.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, I know. That was a big surprise, but he was throwing some bombs, man. He was making some really, really good throws, really good plays. And then who's the other one? Davis Mills didn't look good still. He was dog shit. He was the worst, but he was obviously not a first round rookie quarterback. But all the rest of the rookies are starting to look like they're pretty competitive. So that's going to be fun going forward, especially with the Jets and the Jags, if they can actually be in some games and win some games. I like to see that. You guys want to talk about the Cardinals?
Yeah, dude, they blew out, dude.
Putting it to the Rams.
They look good.
Man. Do you guys think they're the best team in football right now?
I mean, I gotta say, maybe they're record-wise, but I don't know if they could beat all the best teams. You know what I'm saying?
I think they can beat anyone. I think based on the health of the rest of the teams and the health of the Bucs is an issue. The Rams just don't look like they're all the way gelled yet. By the end of the season, those two teams I think are going to be really
but
tough.
They got to Kyler Murray a lot, like sacks wise. That might really hurt them last season. They touched Murray a lot, dude.
Yeah, but Murray also just made him look silly a lot.
He dodged a lot.
He ran all over the place. He was throwing deep balls. He was throwing short passes. I think they're going to be really tough to beat down the stretch. I think right now they're the best team, but By the end of the season, are they still going to be the best team? I will see. But I think right now they're probably the hardest team to beat just because they're keeping up with that offense. And Murray, oh my God. And their running game looked really good yesterday. Chase Edmonds and
James
Conner. Yeah, both looked really good. So yeah, like right now, I mean, probably a couple dark horse teams, but like the idea of a Cardinals Bills Super Bowl is not far fetched.
No,
right? Yeah. The Bills look like they might be the best team in the AFC right now. I'd say they are the best team in the AFC right now. Chiefs started to look like the Chiefs again, but and by the way, next Sunday night, Bills Chiefs,
correct.
Bills Chiefs, which very well could decide home field advantage for the AFC Championship game. So that's going to be
for fantasy.
That's going to be a big one. Now here's one. This is there anything else did you guys have anything that jumped out at you before we keep going on my list of cool stuff?
Well, I mean, we got to talk about Daniel Jones. Did you guys see that?
What, Daniel Jones playing well?
400 yards.
Yeah. Giants got the win. That's
and they won against the Saints, the best defense in the NFL.
Are they the best defense in the NFL?
I mean, they're the highest ranking defense on fantasy right now, and they're doing pretty well. They're very good. 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah. They look really good. I predicted, I think, before the season started, I was saying I think Daniel Jones is going to turn the corner this year, and we're going to start to see him look like the guy they drafted. And he is starting to he's still, of course, he's not elite yet, but he definitely looks like a viable starter. I think he gives you a lot. Oh, we got a couple write-ins, couple guys with some questions. James Zhu from last week, he says, trade CD for Lockett. Would you trade CD Lamb for Tyler Lockett right now?
No.
I don't know, man. CD's not really doing shit right now. CD, I think, has scored 1 touchdown.
Dak throws so much, dude. And
correct.
It's hard to imagine that he won't get going again with him.
Correct.
Tyler Lockett looks like the number one option, though, in that Seattle offense.
That definitely waxes and wanes. Because I had Lockett a lot of years, and then it's like he goes through phases of who he likes. Russell Wilson of QBs, I feel like, or receivers.
I don't know about that. I think Tyler Lockett's been his favorite for a long time. He's definitely going to target.
He loves Metcalf.
He loves Metcalf too. No, those are his guys.
2 seasons.
Right. But you were talking about clear 1-2 punch. He's going to go to both of those guys. I would trade CD for Lockett. I'd take Lockett over CD right now. That's just me. And also, I think the Cowboys are they're going to spread it around. You know, CD's going to have big games, but I think Lockett's going to have more big games. So, yeah. So you guys would not trade CD Lamb for Lockett? Give me a lot.
I don't know. I don't know if CD is going to explode, which he may. I mean, CD's definitely on the better team right now.
Right now, gun to your head. Who are you taking, CD or Lockett? Give me.
I'm going to take CD. Yeah? I know he's having a bad start, but I had him last season. I know what he can do. Lockett, I've had him a lot too. Inconsistent. He's stressed.
I just don't think the Seahawks are reliable enough. But again, like their defense, like they're going to be throwing the ball a lot in Seattle. So
yeah, that's what
they're going to be down.
And CD hasn't had a bad game. Maybe the last 2 games, but I'm looking at his stats right now. First game, he had 24 points. Second game, he had 17. He had 9 the game before that. It's just his last one, he got 3. I think he's still up there with targets, dude.
Oh, he's still great. He's still going to be a starter.
I don't think it's worth a trade. Are you pursuing this, or is this someone offered you?
No, this is a question from one of our viewers. He's I don't know. He didn't say what the exact scenario.
I wouldn't go after that trade. But I don't know if you really have a thing for Lockett and someone offered you. Yeah, maybe. But
let's assume it's just straight up numbers, a numbers game. I'm still taking Lockett for the reason Lonnie said. Game script is going to have the Cowboys running more probably because they're going to be ahead. They're going to be winning a number of these games. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to be throwing from behind a lot, and that's going to be a lot of touches for Lockett. PPR, I'm going Lockett for sure. We got another quick question. Jace Bodwin. Thank you for watching, by the way, James and Jace, or JC, whatever it is. Sean Payton loves taking away Kamara's touchdowns with Taysom Hill. Dude, we talked about this last year. I was thinking about that same. Thank you for bringing that up, Jason. Because I was watching
a nice run, though. He banged some boys off of him.
he runs it so well.
Yeah.
And everybody hates him. He's such an asshole. Let's just, I mean, I don't know anything about the guy, but fuck Taysom Hill. That's just generally the feeling, I think, in all fantasy leagues. Man, 2 touchdowns, I think it was. Dude, Kamara owners are just like pulling their hair out watching Taysom Hill touch the ball. It's horrible. It's got to be like the most stressful thing ever. So I'm just glad I don't have Kamara, I think. Because you draft him in that spot and you know he's going to score too. You give the ball to Kamara. That's the thing that's really, it's not like he's not going to score and Taysom Hill is going to score. You give the ball to Kamara, Kamara's going to score also. It's just,
but it's probably a thing about fooling the defense with the reads. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone's betting for Kamara. You know, like,
of course it is. No, it's a great scheme. It's a great thing Sean Payton has in his back pocket. It's just infuriating from a fantasy owner standpoint. But man, if you're going against Kamara, you love to see that shit. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for writing in. We were talking about Giants, Daniel Jones looking good. Yeah, man, both New York teams got the win yesterday. So good for New York, I guess. But no, both of them look like they're starting to look better, starting to turn the corner. So this is something that I was going to bring up to Vital before we started. The Ravens game. So the Ravens, this is actually apparently some big news. There's some drama around this. The Ravens on the last play of the game, they're blowing out the Broncos. They had a chance to get some kind of rushing record, like the number of games with over 100 yards rushing or something like that. I forget what it was. It was all-time record. And John Harbaugh opted. This is a kneel down situation. Like they're done. The game's over. John Harbaugh opted to run his star quarterback, Lamar Jackson, to pick up the final 4 yards that they needed to break this record. They did it. They got the record. Vic Fangio from the Broncos was pissed. Do you think he has a right to be pissed?
No, fuck off. This is the NFL. This isn't college football, dude. They have no right to, they have no expectation to we blow you out. We're going to keep running our plays. Like, I understand in college, when it's 70-0 and you're still running offense, like people want to get in their feelings and stuff like this. But this is the NFL, dude. Like, we're going to play the game the way we want to play. There's no this is a business. You know what I mean? Like, they're going after records. Like, this is Harbaugh's career. Like, he wants that stat line in his Hall of Fame, when they give him the Hall of Fame jacket, like, he wants that there. And so what if the coach of the Broncos for the next couple of seasons gets pissed? You know what I mean? Like, this is the NFL, dude. I get a life. It's 5 yards.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, your defense had a chance to stop him. Like, you could have done something about it. You could have stopped him.
This is big boy football. This is not high school. Yeah. This is not pee-wee. Like, you don't want him to do it, then stop him. Yeah, exactly. I loved when Cam Newton was pissed. When people were pissed at Cam Newton celebrating, he was like, "I will give you an option. If you don't want me to celebrate, don't let me in the end zone."
Yeah,
and it's like, absolutely, can't hate that.
Right. I love that. No, I absolutely love it. So, but yeah, apparently he's not happy about the whole thing. I thought it was great. Yeah, I love this. Like, hey, if you can't stop us, we're going to do it. Now, if Lamar Jackson had rolled his ankle on that play, we'd be having a much different conversation about that decision by John Harbaugh. But, I mean, that's the game that they're playing. So, and John Harbaugh, I feel like he's a fun coach. The Ravens look like they're having fun all the time. He's a player's coach, and they're having a blast running that totally unique, off the wall, crazy running attack that nobody else really seems to know how to stop. So yeah, I give them props. I think they're great. And I like the decision to go for it. Cordarrelle Patterson had a nice day on Vital's team.
Love it.
Woo! 3 touchdowns, was it?
It might have been 4.
Was it 4? It was, dude. He went berserk. I don't know how many catches, a lot of yards, a lot of catches, 3 touchdowns. What do you expect from him going forward for the rest? Is like, how big of a part of their offense? Obviously, he's not going to score 3 touchdowns every week, but is he a must start now in fantasy right now? The way they're
I feel like
running
he
him,
has to be, dude. The numbers he put up the last 3 games, dude, I think they've all been over 25. So like I ignored it for the first 2, and I was like, I can't do this again.
Yeah, you
and then
had
paid off 30. If I left 38 points on the bench last week, I would have shot myself. But
Yeah.
I should be 4-0 right now if I had started Cordarrelle Patterson. No, I plugged it in, dude.
Yeah, you probably would have. That's a good point. So Brad Montgomery says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Brad? Thanks for watching the show." We're just talking about Cordarrelle Patterson. I think you're right. I don't think this is an aberration. I think he is that big of a part of their offense, and that's just what they're going to do. I think he's going to
get so many targets. I don't know the number, but it has to be at least 15, I think.
Yeah, and he's great in space. Like he's hard to tackle. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's all these things. The question this begs, though, is why hasn't anybody else? This is 10th year in the league or something like that. Why has no one else figured out how to use Cordarrelle Patterson?
You don't remember him, though, because he didn't have hands. Remember, he was a receiver and he didn't have hands. And then when they trained him this utility position, he just blew up. It's like now that he doesn't have to think about it, or maybe because the running gets him going, he is so good, like in motion. But as a receiver before, he wasn't the best.
No, he wasn't.
Now in this utility position,
Yeah, that was part of it for sure. He wasn't a great route runner coming in. He was just pure raw speed.
He used to drop a lot too. I remember I had another guy I hated personally.
Well, okay, so yeah, granted, give him credit for developing himself as a player. That's fair. But also give the Falcons credit for figuring out what they had in him from a just a gifted athlete. Like he's just unbelievable. It's crazy to see, and it's really cool to see a guy who's kind of just been bounced around and like sort of never really lived up to potential. Now all of a sudden just exploding, albeit in a bad offense. But
it's fantastic on a $3 million contract too. At the age of 30, gosh. Dude.
They're getting a bargain for him right now. He might make some more money next year. I don't know how long his contract is, but
I don't know. I think it's a 1 year.
Is it a 1 year deal?
It was something really like nothing.
Brad Montgomery saying he says Patterson rocks for me. You got him on your team, man. That's awesome. It's funny we were just talking about him. But would you trade him for Stephon Diggs? Great question. I don't know if that's an actual trade you've had offered or you're thinking about it right now. Would you trade Patterson for Diggs? I
have sentiment for Patterson at this point. It's like breaking up with your girlfriend. Just trade you good. No way. Can't do
I'm going to say, depending on the league, Lonnie, you go next. You go next. What do you think?
That's a tough one. Like getting rid of Stephon Diggs for Cordarrelle Patterson.
No, if you had Patterson, would you trade him for Diggs?
Probably. I think so. I think you have to, right? I mean, just history alone. There's no guarantee that Cordarrelle Patterson is going to continue like this.
And Diggs is probably going to be very consistent in that Bills offense.
Correct.
The only reason I would say no, and it really does depend on the league and the way that your roster is structured. Cordarrelle Patterson is a running back / wide receiver. He's a legit slash. So you can play him in the running back spot or the wide receiver spot, which is incredibly valuable in our league. And in a lot of deeper leagues where running back is a really thin position, he's producing the kind of numbers in that running back spot that you're not going to get from a lot of other guys. So that's why I say, even if he doesn't put up as many points as Diggs for the rest of the season, I still say he's more valuable because of that flex. He's a flex player, not a player you play in flex. So he's literally the ultimate flex. So as long as his designation stays running back / wide receiver, I say he's more valuable. Now in a shallower league, I would probably trade him for Diggs. Like where if you're already loaded at running back or whatever, then in a league where you're just running backs deeper, maybe an 8-team league or something, or if you only have to start one running back on your in your team or whatever, then I'd say trade him. So he's right on that cusp though. That's a really interesting prospect. It's gonna be fun to watch him go for the next year. And Vital, you picked him up off the waiver wire, right? Like he was just sitting on waivers, man. Oh,
I was like, what? Let me see what this guy's doing.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a great pickup. So we talked about rookie QBs, Jags, Lawrence, Jets, Wilson. Both New York teams we talked about winning. They both won in overtime. That was interesting. Fun drama in New York. How about Le'Veon Bell getting some action this week? A lot of people thought he was never going to play again. Got on the field with the Ravens. Lonnie, you picked him up off waivers.
I did. Got him, just seeing what's happening. Latavius Murray, I think I read is getting. I think he got 75% of the touches last week, so he's definitely taking control of the offense right now. But they've also got Tyson Williams. But
Latavius Murray looks good. He looks playable. He looks like he's a guy you could start. I think as of right now. There's such a run-heavy offense, and he's got a nose for they use him in the end zone or in the goal line situations. But yeah, the Bell's a good wait and see. I'm curious to see how many other leagues he gets picked up in this year. Brad Montgomery writes again: Mixon, Barkley, Fournette, and grabbed Pat off waiver wire. Trying to expand. Thanks, guys. You're welcome, man. Good luck. Have fun. Sounds like you got pretty good running backs. Fournette looked really good, man. He's also another running back who's people didn't really know before the season, Ronald Jones or Fournette. Fournette is the guy, it looks like, in Tampa. So yeah, getting rid of Ronald Jones would have been a good idea. Josh Gordon, another name. We're throwing it back. Josh Gordon sounds like he's going to get on the field for the Chiefs next week, which is it's going to be interesting. We talked about it a little bit last week. Is it going to happen? Was it going to happen? It is going to happen. They said they like what they see from him. And another name we talked about last week, talked about 49ers running backs, which one's going to rise to the top. Trey Sermon got the start again. He didn't do a whole lot with it, but he looks like, and he's the only healthy one right now, but he looks like he's going to be the guy right now for the Niners. Let's talk injuries. Both Titans receivers did not play. I'm going to say that had a lot more to do with the Jets winning than maybe some people are talking about. The Titans still made it interesting, but you take Julio and AJ Brown off any team, like they're just not going to be as good. So that's a tough situation. Doesn't sound, they're both hamstring injuries, I believe. Doesn't sound like either one's going to be long-term, but it really hurts your team if you can't play those guys. And you probably invested a good amount of draft capital picking them up. And I don't think you trust any of the other receivers on that team necessarily to play in fantasy either. Like, you're going to play Chester Rogers, maybe, but it's not like that's not the answer to your problems. The David Montgomery injury, Lonnie, you said you were reading about that.
I don't see anything else other than it's not it's not an ACL. So I think they're expecting him to come back at this time, sometime this year, but definitely going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's tough. That's definitely a big blow for fantasy teams. I got him on one of my teams. He put up great numbers too before he got hurt. Like he still helped. But that's going to be tough. And we're going to talk about waivers because Damian Williams is going to be at the top of everybody's list. Logan Thomas went down. That's going to be rough. Tight end is so thin already. Do you guys have him on either of your teams? No. That's going to be I don't know, man. I drafted high for tight ends this year, and I'm really glad I did because it's just like it's got to be one of the most stressful things to deal with on a week-to-week basis when you are trying to figure out which tight end is going to hit this week. And then, of course, Logan Thomas was one of those guys who you're like, okay, I'm going to lock him into your lineup. He's not the best, but he's pretty good. He's reliable. He's definitely good enough to play. And now he's down for I don't know how long. A couple other big injuries were Jimmy Garoppolo and Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater was a concussion, so he may or may not be back next week. Drew Lock, he's played pretty well or whatever. Jimmy G, though, it's questionable. It's a calf injury. So that's going to be it. Yeah, they don't know. Is he going to play next week? They don't know. And there's a few other situations like that. Chicago is still dealing with that. They did say in Chicago, though, that if Andy Dalton is healthy, that he's playing. So any other major injuries that we or any other big news that we missed? You guys can think of? Saquon had a nice day.
Yeah.
for
Tyreek
people
had a 50 in my other league. Tyreek
Oh,
put a 50
dude.
burger on.
yeah,
dude.
annihilated. I got him on one of my teams. He murdered.
I needed it, dude. I loved it.
Yeah, he's the ultimate boomer bust player. I feel like he gave me like, what was it last week? Was like 6 points.
Yeah, it was something nothing last week.
Dude, his highs and lows are so extreme.
You just can't take him off your lineup at all. You never know when he's going to hit.
No,
I just have to leave him.
Right. You're either going to win or lose based on Tyreek Hill pretty much every week. You just got to hope he goes off more often than not. But man, yeah, you really just got to hope he goes off in the playoffs. And that's the bottom line. You get into the playoffs. Because dude, he just went nuts. It was 50-something points, I think. Yeah, it was fun to watch. AJ Green had a pretty decent game for the Cardinals. He's actually one of probably the top waivers this week because he looks like he's really established as the clear number 2 on a really good offense. So yeah, AJ Green might be you're probably going to see him get targeted by a lot of people. And then of course, Damian Williams, if he's not already handcuffed, he was probably one of the top handcuffs to have going into this year. Like if you were a David Montgomery owner and you didn't have Damian Williams, you better hope you can get him off the waivers this week because he's gonna be really good. I think for the entire time David Montgomery's out, Damian Williams is starting. He's going to be a starting running back because they don't really have any other options. And he looked good in relief. Like he actually had a decent fantasy week after Montgomery went out. He had some, I think he scored he might have had a touchdown before Montgomery even went out, just in his backup role. So he's going to be top waiver pickup this week. So, you guys want to talk about bad QBs? Wow, man.
I lost it. I used to know a bad quarterback. Now I don't know.
Well, we both picked those rookies and I was a little nervous. I was like, they might turn the corner. They're going to turn the corner at some point this year. And they both did. Fortunately, yours turned the corner a little bit harder than mine. Lonnie, slam dunk with Davis Mills. That's, great pick. Negative 7.2 fantasy points for Davis Mills. He's a must own if you are playing worst quarterback. He's a must have right now. Vitaly took Zach Wilson, 21.8. And I took Trevor Lawrence. It gave me the 16.76. So I just barely squeaked by Vital just because Zach Wilson had actually a really good game. Which means Vital, you get the first pick this week. Now, have you guys looked at the who we got for our matchups?
I've been looking. I have some favorites.
I mean, I have some favorites too. I have 2 favorites. Fortunately, I know again, I'm going to get to pick one of my top 2 picks. We have some really see, now we're getting into that part of the season where it's going to start to get tough because there are bye weeks that we're going to have to deal with now. And questionable situation. So the Niners are questionable, the Bears are questionable, and the Broncos are questionable. All of those, it could go either way for who's going to start. And that's just the questionables that we know about. You never know what's going to happen otherwise. So let's see who we've got. Joe Burrow, by the way, we didn't talk about Joe Burrow looks really good. The Bengals look pretty good. Like they look like they're really going to give a lot of teams a run for their money this year. All right, so let's see. Next week, schedule. What have we got going? All right, so you got those. Yeah, the Niners. Who knows? You got Davis Mills at Buffalo. Oh man, that's good.
No, that was this week.
Was it? Oh, sorry. That was this week. Davis Mills at New England. Also, very nice looking pick. Zach Wilson's going. It says at Atlanta. That's the 9:30 a.m. London game. But Zach Wilson against Atlanta, man. Atlanta has not looked good. And Zach Wilson just looked very good. Sam Darnold has looked pretty good. He's playing Philly. Jameis Winston at Washington is an interesting matchup. Carson Wentz at Baltimore is interesting. Daniel Jones at Dallas. Jared Goff has looked pretty bad at Minnesota. You got Trevor Lawrence playing Tennessee.
Ben Roethlisberger in Denver.
Ben Roethlisberger at Denver is a good one. How about Jacoby Brissett at Tampa?
I can't do it.
Jacoby Brissett looked so bad.
And he looked good the week before. I don't know.
You got some garbage time action, but oh man, that front seven, I feel like they might just eat him up.
It's not good.
Those are all the really bad ones, I think, that we have as of right now. Everybody else, I know you're not going to pick any of the rest of those guys.
Mills is playing in Atlanta, right?
No, Mills is playing against New England at home.
Oh. New England at home. They need a win.
Yeah, Mac Jones at Houston. Mac Jones looked too good to pick last yesterday.
Tough week this week.
Tough week. It's just going to get tougher because I think next week we start buys. There's nobody's got a bye week this week. Next week we got buys.
I'm stuck between actually Mills or Goff.
Mills or Goff, huh?
Minnesota's defense has been pretty good this year. But I like Goff. I'm still all right. Mills.
You're gonna go with
we're good at Goff.
Davis Mills. I think you'd be silly not to pick him at this point until he proves otherwise.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think he might be able to do decent there. But the Pats are a suffocating defense.
Oh man, I think he's gonna. Well, we'll find out. I think.
Yeah.
I think he's really gonna struggle next week. Man, let's see. I think so. I'm torn between Brissett at Tampa and actually Wentz at Baltimore. I think Wentz might get just mangled.
That's what I'm saying. Wentz might get hurt in the first quarter.
Which is another great reason to pick him. Like he could get knocked out in the first play.
That's why I was thinking of picking up what's his name, Garoppolo. He might get hurt again, or they just want to try out Lance.
No, but you don't know. Like Garoppolo might not even start, so that's the problem.
I don't think his calf injury was that much of an injury. I think it was time to try out Trey Lance.
I don't know, man. They also I think came out and said Jimmy's their quarterback. So,
yeah, when he's winning.
He's also a huge pussy and doesn't like to play through injury. This is so tough. I think I'm going to take the secondary is pretty bad for Tampa right now. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I think they're going to get after Brissett, but he also might hit some big plays. I think I'm going to take Carson Wentz at Baltimore.
Yeah.
Is that where you were going to go, Lonnie?
I was looking at it. I'm thinking Brissett, Goff,
Roethlisberger. For anyone who's watching or listening, this is where we pick the worst
maybe
quarterback.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan against the Jets. Overseas.
We were just
Jets
talking about
defense
Patterson.
looked good yesterday.
He's going to bail him out.
They looked okay yesterday. They didn't look great.
They sacked them 7 times. Tannehill, I think.
Yeah, that's true. He also was without his top 2 receivers. Yeah, it's definitely not a bad pick. Matt Ryan's got some weapons, though.
He's got weapons. The thing is so does Roethlisberger, and Roethlisberger is like, is he going to turn it around next week at home against Denver? Big game. Season's on the line basically right now.
Denver's offense looked really bad, so they might have a lot of possessions. The game that he looked really bad, he was without Deontay Johnson. We talked about that last week. Deontay Johnson is kind of the perfect player for him right now at this point in his career because of the type of player that he is. He's a great route runner. He's really fast. He can give him the ball in space. He's just this, he's Ben's safety valve. And without him 1 week, all he had was, Smith-Schuster and some big play guys, and he just couldn't do anything. He needs Deontay, but Deontay also, it makes him look better. It makes him better at this stage. So
I'm between Goff and Brissett.
Goff and Brissett. Goff Goff's a better quarterback than Brissett, but I don't know. Tampa's
What kind of games are they
secondary.
going to play? That's all it's about. I think they may get some scores. The Dolphins, like, Brissett's not terrible, and he might get some goal line drive. I shouldn't be helping you, Lonnie, but
You know they're going to be. They're going to be throwing it a lot, though.
yeah,
The Dolphins are
that's
going
what
to
I
be
think.
forced.
They're going to be behind.
They're going to get behind quick, I think, and they're going to be throwing it a lot, which could lead to interceptions as well. But if the Tampa Bay secondary looks anything like they did last night, they might be suspects for a little bit longer here.
Goff. Going with Goff.
All right, Jared Goff. So quick update on the total scores going into for our podcast competition.
You know, he didn't give us weekly updates when I was up, and now that he's winning every week, he wants.
You
to
haven't been up, I don't think. You were up for like
I was talking about last season.
I just, I feel like it
Now this season, you're like,
more
hey, you guys want to know the score?
because you were so far ahead of us for a long time. For like the last like 7 or 8, I was giving pretty regular updates. I feel like
you did towards the end when it was odd.
it was close between me and Lonnie towards the end. We were like right back and forth. Now I got a sizable lead on you guys. Actually, Lonnie closed the gap, so it's now I got 12, Vital 7, Lonnie 5. So you're only 2 games back from not having a body tattoo.
Hey man, 3-point plays can happen every week.
No, they can't. We can't have 3. You can't have 3 points. Oh yeah, no, you get 4. You can get 4. You don't get 3 points for anything, I don't think, unless
I mean, like all the.
Yeah. All right. So what do you got? So what do you guys actually need for tonight's game? Vital, you said you're still somewhat in jeopardy. What do you need for tonight's game?
A little bit. I have Carr and the kicker for the
Raiders
game tonight, and then he has the QB, and then but also the Raiders defense. So he's going to be taking points away from himself. I'm up by 5 points, and I feel pretty good about it. Like,
that could still be interesting, though.
yeah, it could get close, but taking points away from yourself always fucks you up. I think.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, when you go back and forth like that.
Yeah.
I need in our league. I need Brian Edwards to score 4 touchdowns and Austin Eckler to break his ankles. Both of them preferably, and I might need more help than that too. I haven't checked, but I know I need at least those 2 things to happen for me.
This is your first loss, though, right?
Yeah, this will be my first loss, so
fine.
I'm not too worried about it. But the point total is the part that like I would love to see Brian Edwards get a couple points, a couple touchdowns, because I was looking pretty good in terms of the point total. Although I don't think I put in a most points. I don't think we're doing a most points bonus this year, which we should have done, but I didn't mention it before the season. So, but the point total is the tiebreaker, so it's still incredibly important. So racking those points up. Hey, by the way, great job. I almost forgot to mention this. We are 2-0 on our 4-team teaser picks now this week. We squeaked out another win. Those Jets, man, gave us. It wasn't as close as last week, though. Last week, I think it was like half a point by that Chiefs team, or by the Chiefs losing, or whatever it was. So anyway, yeah, 2-0. 2-0 is 2-0. That's all that matters, right? We've won 2 weeks in a row. We're going to do another one this week on Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll have it all out by Wednesday night. I'll post it up on Facebook, our Facebook page, and our Instagram account. We'll have our 4-team teaser. That's a plus 13-point 4-team teaser. You got to hit all 4 picks. So we're doing great as far as that. Great start to the season. Are you guys going to bet that with me at all? Are you going to get on board or what?
No, I'm going to bet. I was researching last week, but it was a little overwhelming. This week, I feel a little better, though.
I'll help you get set up. I sent you the link to that. I think I did send you the link to that one site, right? I just bet $50 a week. And so yeah,
is that the same site you sent me a picture of? It looked the same.
No, I'm gonna probably switch to that site, but I need to compare and make sure the lines are the same. But on that site, it's the 4-team teaser is minus 130, whereas the site I'm betting on right now, it's minus 150. So
I would lose less if.
Yeah, when you lose, if you're betting 50, which I'm betting 50, if you lose $10 less, which is very significant over the course of the whole season. So instead of losing 75, you'd lose 65. The win is still plus 50. That's how the line works. So I think probably in a few weeks, once my rollover is met, once I figure out I can cash out, I might switch over to that website. But anyway, I can help you take a look at that if you want to get on board with it. What else we got? So who do you guys like tonight? Tonight's game should be interesting. Vegas is undefeated. The Raiders are undefeated, but the Chargers looked really good last week. Who you guys taking in this game?
I'm taking the Raiders. I think they'll be 4-0 tonight.
Yeah,
It's the Chargers.
you're going Chargers, huh?
I think so.
Who's
Chargers are good, man.
Chargers?
Good team.
The Chargers are good, but I just think the Ravens will be able to outscore them, dude. They get
I
on
think the
some
Raiders
scoring
might
margins.
be pretenders.
They've been good for the past 2-3 seasons, man. People, maybe the
They're
first
good.
couple seasons I could have
They're
said
good.
that. They
They're
found
good.
a way to have a
They're-
decent record every season. That's not pretending.
They're good, but I think the
They
Chargers
win the
are
game
better.
supposed to win.
I agree.
The Chargers
with Ryan.
only lost to the Cowboys, and Cowboys are like one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. So I think the Chargers are better.
I think the Chargers are better, but not by much. I think it's a small margin.
Correct.
I'm going to give the Chargers the edge because they're at home tonight. I think these two teams split this year. I think the home team's going to take each game, and I wouldn't be surprised if they meet in the playoffs because I think both teams are probably good enough to make the playoffs this year. It's going to be tough. Obviously, they're playing the Chiefs twice each, and that's going to be huge. But Chargers already beat the Chiefs, so they're in good shape. I'm taking the Chargers tonight just because at home, but I think it's going to be a close, high-scoring game. So that's what I'm predicting. All right, DraftKings. You guys pick your captains for DraftKings tonight. Did you do yours yet?
Yeah.
Patel? Yeah. All right. Who do you guys got for captains for DraftKings?
Carr.
Because you picked the Raiders. Lonnie?
Sherbert.
Yeah, me too. So we're both on the Chargers. We both picked Herbert. You picked Carr. You're on the Raiders. I actually think it's a toss up between those two. I think they're both going to have good games. I think a lot of players are going to score points tonight. I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch. So I'm excited about that. All right. Anything else you guys got coming up? You want to promo? Any shows, comedy shows coming down the line? Okay. I'm doing Twisted Root Kava in Hollywood this Saturday with the Gold Coast Tour, Connie and Riley and Dan Weiss hosting. That's his room. Saturday night Kava bar should be fun. I believe we have Sita as our feature. So yeah, give me a good time. All right, cool. So for everybody watching, listening, thank you guys. Thank you guys, Brad, Jace, James. Appreciate you guys tuning in and writing in for your questions. We're always here. We're always available. Ask us anytime. And follow us. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And you can watch us on YouTube. And you can listen on Google, Apple, Pocket Casts, Overcast, and a bunch of other podcast sites, Anchor, Spotify. We're on all that stuff. So thank you guys, everybody, for listening and watching. We'll be back next Monday night.